I'm Fred Cunningham, and welcome to First Responder Friday on WSPA+. Every Friday on 7 News, we profile law enforcement officers, firefighters, EMS, 911 operators, and many other professionals in the Carolinas who respond in times of an emergency. Let's meet some of the people who have devoted their lives to service and run towards trouble when the rest of us are trying to get out of the way. Matt Metcalf is a big man on campus. He's an SRO at Sugarloaf Elementary School in Henderson County, where he has plenty to say.
It's just part of my personality. I can talk to people. I actually kind of take a little bit of pride in that because some people just need to have a conversation in their life.
Metcalf's life started in this direction when he was their age. His dad was a volunteer firefighter.
We'd be riding around in his Ford Bronco too, and next thing you know, his pager's going off, and he's like, "Well, we're going to a wreck." So he threw on the little red lights. You show up, and you got the police there, the lights and the sirens and the wreckers and the fire trucks and everything going on, and you're just sitting here in your dad's truck going, "Man, that's cool."
Years later, he did the same thing with a close friend.
He was working patrol for Raleigh PD, and I just went on a couple ride-alongs with him over the weekend, and I was hooked.
Metcalf would need experience to become an officer, and military service counts, so he joined the Army.
Yeah, I went to Iraq twice. I was in a combat zone for 2 years, essentially. And there are things that my brothers and sisters that I went over there with, the guys and girls that we deployed with, those are kind of, it's like, that's kind of those are memories that we hold sacred.
Metcalf left the military to become an Asheville police officer, where another close friend, SRO Joe Jones, took him for a walk-along at a high school.
He said, "This fits your personality. This is exactly who you are." He's like, "You need to go do it." Hey, what's up, dude?
He did, getting hired as an SRO with the Henderson County Sheriff's Office, where he's worked with elementary school kids.
As an officer, you're pretty much loved. They love you, the high fives. What's your favorite part?
Middle schoolers.
The world is changing all around them. Their minds are changing, their bodies are changing, everything's changing. They have to have some sort of grounding point to relate to.
And at a high school.
Man, it's 100 miles an hour high school. It is a fun time.
Hello.
Speaking of speed, that's Metcalf's escape from police work.
I love riding a motorcycle. I've got a motorcycle at the house. That's kind of my turn everything off. Just go get in the wind and just kind of enjoy it.
Good morning.
The good days are fantastic. You can come to work. If you've got an open heart and an open mind, you can come to work. If you've got a bad day, and you'll have a good day by the time you go home.
Harrisons are our partners on First Responder Friday. Jed is here.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having us out. We really appreciate everything you guys do, particularly here in our schools. Huge supporters of the Resource Officer Program. We've got a little something for you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you for everything y'all do.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that is First Responder Friday.
Never rains at the drill tower. It's always a good day to be down here training.
That's the saying at the Greenville City Fire Department's training facility on Malden Road. It's a busy place for new firefighters in any weather.
Just initial training for a firefighter, it's well over 200 hours that they're going to come down here and they're going to do lecture and some other stuff like that. But like today, they're out there dragging hose and doing practical skills that'll take them about 8 weeks to get through the entire program. Now we also do EMT training, which is an additional 200 hours of training just to ride a fire truck.
Once they're clear to ride a fire truck, they'll never be too far from here. It doesn't matter if you're a veteran with years or even decades of experience.
They're going to do almost 200 hours of just firefighting continuing education. And that doesn't include the EMT training continuing education that they have to do. If they're a driver, you add an additional 12 hours to that. If they're a company officer, you add another 12 hours to that.
It turns out there is more than one way to fight a fire.
There's better techniques, there's better tools, and so that's part of what we do down here at the drill tower is we not only do we train on better techniques, new techniques, but if there's new tools out there.
And what does it take to become one of these men and women?
We can teach people how to do firefighting and to be EMTs. We can teach those skills, but We just need good, hardworking people.
That's hardworking people to do one thing.
We want them to call us on their worst day. We want to be the ones that come and help them. That's why we do this job, is to help them in their time of need.
Harrisons are our partners on First Responder Friday, and Kevin Harrison is here.
Hey, we just want to thank you. What an impressive facility. What a resource this is for Greenville City and the whole area, to be able to train these officers to be able to come in and do these things and be able to keep us safe. And we just thank you so much for your bravery and everything that you guys do and your entire team here. And on behalf of Harrison's, a little small token of our appreciation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that is First Responder Friday. Croft State Park is just south of Spartanburg. It's the perfect spot for Senior Ranger Woody Goodwin.
And I went to school and wanted a job outdoors because I'm not much of an office person. I can walk out my back door and this is, like you said, my office, and I can see God's creation every day. So it's been a blessing.
Goodwin is definitely built to work outdoors. After finishing school, he spent nearly 6 full months on his feet.
After hiking the Appalachian Trail and just the duties and responsibilities that we have at this job, if you matched up with a lot of my interests.
Goodwin joined the South Carolina Park Service and came to Croft in 1999. He's never left.
Croft has history scattered throughout the 7,000 acres. It also has trails and a lake to our left, or my left here, that a lot of people use.
And rangers have a map to help you see it all.
It tells you, what color trails are for like mountain biking or hiking trails or horse trails, and then we have multi-use trails. So it's a very handy tool to have.
When you've been somewhere for 25 years, you've seen a lot, and some things over again.
I've seen kids grow up here and then they're bringing their families back here. So it's a neat place to come and just get away from the busy and craziness of everyday life. Personally believe it was a calling. I can look back and see, I believe, where God had provided a means of me directing me towards this job.
And that's First Responder Friday. I'm Fred Cunningham, 7 News. As you can see, these stories are just a way for us to say thank you to the men and women who are our local first responders. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, more of the people and stories that make up First Responder Friday. Welcome back to 7 News First Responder Friday, right here on WSPA+. We'll continue now with the stories of our brave local first responders and how they serve our communities. Take a look. Mike Farrell says he decided to get into law enforcement for a basic and simple reason.
There's people that are trying to live, work, and raise their kids, and there's people in this world that want to kind of cause that to be a problem. And somebody has to do something about it.
Since joining Greer Police in 2010, that's what he did, rising to the rank of patrol sergeant. But last November, Farrell took a demotion to become the department's crisis intervention officer.
I saw this glaring problem with policing in general, to where we're responding to all of these types of calls where there's mental health involved. I felt like a better solution for us as a police department and better response for law enforcement in general is to have a team or a person dedicated to those responses.
Sometimes those calls can be dramatic. A Charleston police officer recently pulled a man to safety who was threatening to jump off an interstate bridge.
I don't know if it's post-COVID type thing, but there's been a massive increase in these types of calls. And also just the mental health system in our country and in our state.
Most of the time, Farrell says a call starts like this.
When I show up, I try to, as much as possible on my end, to treat them with as much dignity about what they're going through, because they are legitimate things. I'll see what I can do.
That would be awesome.
I could probably find something. Sometimes it really is just a conversation, and it just takes that conversation for us to be able to de-escalate somebody to the point to where they can listen to reason. And then when they start to listen to reason, we can start working them towards a solution.
I'm Fred Cunningham, and that's First Responder Friday.
What's up, buddy?
This is Greer Police Officer Christian Ruiz's beat, patrolling the halls at Abner Creek Academy in Spartanburg School District 5. It's a long way from the night shift.
I noticed that basically my job, and the majority of the time I was arresting the same people. You guys having a good day? I was just like, you know what, I want to be able to create a lasting impact. And I felt like the best way to do that was through the next generation.
He's happy to see that next generation, and the feeling is mutual.
They love it, they love me. They're at an age where all of them tell you they want to become a police officer. I know that I'm probably the first image or example that they'll see of what an officer is.
So how did Ruiz become a police officer? It started with his family, which moved from Puerto Rico to Florida. Things didn't go well there.
I was making bad choices, you know, and my aunt and uncle, who are pastors here, they said, hey, why don't you move up here? Got my life together, found my wife, got married, rededicated my life to the Lord, and that's when the reason I became an officer
is that God is so creative. He makes things look crazy.
He's still rededicated as the youth pastor at Nuevo Comenzo in Greenville.
You see what he does.
We're a bilingual church, so literally everything that we do is translated from Spanish to English, or if we do an English, whether a Spanish or English song, everything is back and forth, back and forth.
Back at Abner Creek Academy, Fridays are special. Everyone is ready for the weekend.
I'll get my tricycle, and when the students are about in the hallways, I'll run the tricycle down the hall, and they love it. They'll see my head just whiz by, and you can hear them from the hallway just shouting, Officer Ruiz, Officer Ruiz. So it's great. And they're like, that's Officer Ruiz. I'm like, no, that wasn't me. That's some other officer. He comes here on Fridays.
Ruiz is committed to this school. 2 of his 4 children are students here.
They enjoy having me here. I love being around them as well. And so I have a lot invested in the school, making sure that it's safe for everyone.
And everyone at Abner Creek Academy can count on one thing.
I want them to run to me. I don't want them to run from me. That's my motto here at the school.
That's First Responder Friday. I'm Fred Cunningham, 7 News.
This is where most of our stuff, like our crime scene.
Call this the large arm of the law. Police officer Taquan Johnson, at 6'2" and more than 300 pounds, was a lineman at Clemson for 3 seasons starting in 2019. But his original plan was to be a veterinarian.
You stand out at Clemson, you have a lot of responsibilities outside of your actual duty on the field and off the field. You're a role model to very many people. And that schedule to be a vet just wasn't there.
So he followed the path of his adoptive father in Maryland into law enforcement. He was hired by Lawrence PD a year ago, and you can say football helped build him for success.
It is very, very hard work, and it builds character. Some of the most successful people in the world are linemen.
Johnson's football days actually pay off when he stops on patrol in front of a big crowd.
He's a huge presence when he gets out, but I say he's like a big teddy bear, but I definitely wouldn't cross him.
It's very typical to be like, hey, that's the guy that plays for Clemson, or that's the guy that paid for Clemson that ran our summer camp. And it really makes my day, because not only do people know who I am, it's a source of trust. You already have that connection.
And Johnson wants to make more than just a connection. It's to build relationships with young people.
A lot of the youth that are in this community, they're starting to believe in what we're building here in Lawrence, and it's starting to show. We're starting to have less problems out of juveniles. We're starting to see less juveniles involved in violent crimes, but we still got to continue to do our job.
Johnson says he's living in the moment with big plans down the road.
But I want to eventually move into a political field and hopefully eventually run for president one day. But right now I'm living in the now, I'm enjoying the moment and continuing to grow. So that way when I do make my move, is swinging for home runs.
And Vance Mahaffey's here from Benson Hyundai with a presentation.
On behalf of Benson Hyundai and the entire Lawrence community, we want to thank you for what you do for each and every one of us. And here's a small token of our appreciation.
Thank you, sir.
And that is First Responder Friday. We're going to take a short break from our stories of these amazing heroes. Stick around for more First Responder Friday right here on WSPA+. It's a privilege and an honor to get the opportunity to bring you these stories of our local heroes, those who choose to put their lives on the line or simply choose to be there for us when we need them most. Here are some more stories from our First Responder Fridays.
Make a friend.
You are so pretty. If you spend much time at one of the City of Malden's fire stations, you're going to see Ember. And let's get one thing out of the way, because lots of people ask. This German Shepherd mix is one healthy dog.
The characteristics that you see in her is what you're looking for in a healthy dog. You want to be able to see those hip bones a little bit when you're standing above the dog. You want to be able to see a little bit of the ribs. So although to some people who may not have that perspective on dogs, they might see her and say, that dog needs to eat. You know, she's well fed and she's right where she should be.
Ember visits lots of schools, helping to teach young people how to stop, drop, and roll to stay low during a fire.
When I was doing that, I would see kids kind of start to minds wandering, you know, looking at other things, a loud noise would happen. Ember, stop. I noticed with our first demonstration with her, I had the kids' attention. Good girl. Studies show that animal-assisted education can actually improve that by about 50%.
There's lots of training involved. Centrone and Ember have close to 300 hours already.
I work with Ember on a minimum 7 days a week. Doesn't matter if it's a holiday or a weekend for 15 minutes. Some days we might be out there for 30 minutes to an hour.
Nothing to see here. Nothing to see. And who says you can't do dog training with a newborn?
Ember lives with his handler's family. There's lots of affection from Centrone's 3 children, but there's also one big rule at home.
We really don't give her treats. So she doesn't get table scraps. Say hi. When you start entering, you know, things like bacon or, you know, milk bones, they're all considered high value treats. And what could happen is the dog could stop performing because it's like, hey, I want that bacon. I'm not gonna do what you say.
The no treats rule goes for the firefighters too, who get to see Ember when they face some of their toughest times. The canine visits 2 stations each day.
She gets to interact with the firefighters. So what that does is it kind of helps them relax, de-stress. And then if there is a major incident where something really tragic happens and we bring Ember in, they're not viewing it as really an aid. It's just part of their everyday life.
Ember's dog life is helping to save lives. And that's First Responder Friday.
Friday, filling in for First Responder Friday, which is Fred's segment, but he left me in great hands. We're here with the captain of the Greenwood Fire Department. We've got Franklin Cottinger. Thanks for being here with us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
So I understand, per Fred, you sent in some photos of this steam engine that quite literally every single council person has talked to me about. Everyone's been bringing up what is so important about the steam engine. What do we need to know about it?
So this steam engine was manufactured in 1870. It's housed in our downtown fire station at 909 South Main Street. And it's over 150 years old. So it's got, time tested. And it gives us the ability to tell the story about our origins, how we used to do things. And we're actually, because it's so rare, we're taking it down to Myrtle Beach for the South Carolina State Firefighters Association.
That's awesome.
The conference down there. So not only do we get to show it off to everybody across the state, but we get to show it off to our local community any day of the week. You can call, schedule a time to bring your family by if you're looking for stuff to do this summer. Call, schedule a time to come by. We'll be glad to show it to you. It's really cool.
And definitely very interactive for like the kids to see.
Yes.
And now we've got these big bad boys. And
yes.
You said how long does it take y'all to respond to emergencies?
So we can get to anywhere in the city between our 3 stations in about 3 minutes, 3
wow.
to 3.5 minutes. So
which could be the difference.
Absolutely. Second counts in this line of work. And so we try really hard to make sure our guys are trained, that we move fast, because we know that you are all dependent on us
Absolutely.
To be there for you.
That's awesome, and definitely something that I wanted to hear from you, so we appreciate that. Let's talk summer safety. We talked earlier about making sure that we're watching the kids, or that the kids are well prepared when at home alone kind of cooking. What about grilling? Everyone's getting ready for the 4th,
yes.
for the July. Talk to me about that.
So everybody does things outside right now. They're doing bonfires, they're doing cooking, all different kinds of cooking. And so what we like to tell our kids, because we want to make it very real and easy for them to understand, is to hold out both your arms.
Okay.
When you hold out both your arms, that's the distance that you need to be away from anything hot. So whether it's the grill, whether it's the bonfire, hold out both your arms. That's how far you need to be away, and that's a safe distance for kids to stay.
Awesome. Franklin, thank you so much for being here with us, giving us those little bits of information that could help you and keep the kids safe and
Absolutely.
family safe this summer while grilling. We'll send it over to...
Thorne Ambulance Service was supposed to take over emergency medical calls in Cherokee County in January, but they jumped in 3 months early. That's not an easy task.
It's been a huge learning curve for really everybody that works here, with Thorne coming in as a no service provider here in Cherokee County and taking some of the employees from the previous provider. So it's really just been a huge learning process for everybody.
Its ambulances are on the road 24/7, answering 30 to 40 calls during a 24-hour shift. These supervisors say they're working to build a team.
We've really worked on some ways to make it more of a family atmosphere here. We do family dinners, we cook, and we all come together. We try to plan things off duty as well.
Michael Martin is a field operations supervisor. He started with the Charleston Fire Department and was there during the Charleston 9 tragedy in 2007. After a stop in Atlanta, he brings his larger city experience to Cherokee County.
One of the biggest things we deal with in EMS is, just the pressure of the calls and the things that we see on scene. And some people don't really know how to react to it, don't know how to respond to it, and deal with it internally. So to be able to have that family atmosphere where you've got, not just a coworker that you can talk to, but a coworker that is invested in you personally.
This service area has its challenges. Christopher Spencer says they can be 45 minutes away from a call location, but he has a good group.
But the good thing here is the paramedics, the field staff we have here are great. I'm definitely partial to the staff here, but I would put them up against anybody.
And Vance Mahaffey's here from Benson Hyundai.
On behalf of Benson Hyundai and the entire Cherokee County community, I want to thank you both for what you do and the lives you save. And we'll be sending you your gift here very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And those are just some of the people who chose careers with one goal in mind: to help others. You can see new editions of First Responder Friday every week on 7 News in our morning and afternoon newscasts. You can also find all of our previous profiles in the First Responder Friday section of WSPA.com and the 7 News app. And join us here for more episodes of First Responder Friday on WSPA+. I'm Fred Cunningham, and we'll see you next time.